Hello, this is Joe Neville and welcome to video 5 in my Aruba Home Lab build. So this is the last one, and in this we're going to configure a number of different elements. So I'm going to configure ClearPass for my service. Then I'm going to configure my AP, which is running Aruba Instant 8.4. And then finally, we're going to delve into some Windows Server because I need to configure a certificate template for a computer and user, configure the GPO, so the group policy, to try to issue the certificates via Auto-Enrollment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a Windows client, first of all using PEAP so it can log on to the SSID. Then I'm going to try to join the domain using that username, and then hopefully with Auto-Enrollment, once we're on the domain, we'll download the certificates that we need for EAP-TLS. Okay, let's get on with it then. So let's jump onto my remote desktop session. Here we are, and we need, what do I need to do? First of all, I need to go onto ClearPass. Right, here is ClearPass, and I'm actually, so you may recall that what I've already set up, I'll just show you. I've set up my domain controller there as a source of authentication, and I've also put the device in, so the AP1, which is running Aruba Instant, that is using the first IP address in the range that I set for DHCP, so .100. Now let's set up a service, and essentially I'm just copying the one from Herman's videos here. Right, so Aruba 802.1x wireless, we'll call it red. Wireless, okay, fine. Next, and the authentication methods I'll get rid of. So as I've explained, we'll start with PEAP, then we'll move over to TLS. So we don't have to do, hopefully we don't have to do anything like manually moving certificates around. So I'll remove that. Authentication source, because I've already added that in, appears there. If you haven't, you can add it in here. So that's good. Next, roles is just basic, enforcement's basic. That is good, I believe. So we will save that. And let's jump over to the AP now. So here's my AP. I've already logged in actually. So this is the new GUI. I'll show you the, here's the dashboard. Okay, if you haven't seen this before. And if you haven't, why not? Let us go over to the security. So this is where I need to put the authentication server in. Hang on, security, yep, authentication server. So let's add that in there. It's going to be radius. So this is ClearPass -5, IP address 5.10, shared secret is admin. Pretty simple. And I OK that. Right, so we've got our server in. Save. And a point of warning, actually. The save button's right down here. Down in the right when you've got it full screen. It's kind of out of my field of vision. Well, it's down in the peripheral. Configuration of networks. There we are. Let's add a network in. And we will call it Swamp Thing 1. Don't ask me why. I've just been doing that in the lab and it seems to have stuck in my brain. Right, security level. It is going to be, because we want to do EAP-TLS, we're going to go for Enterprise, WPA2, and we've got the internal server. Let's move over to ClearPass 5. That looks good. Okay, next. Access, it's just open. There we are, unrestricted. So we save that. Networks, there we are. Okay, so Swamp Thing 1, good. Just to mix up my pop culture references. Right, where are we going now? Let us go over to, actually, we're not going anywhere. We're going on to our server here. So this is where we need to go into the certificates. So it's certificate authority. Minimize that. Here's the certificate authority. And we have the certificate templates. And with these templates, you have these default templates, and the deal is that we can use that to issue our own custom templates. So what we do is right click. So I do find this quite tricky, what you actually have to do here. And it's just a case of making a note of it and then following this process. I didn't find the workflow particularly intuitive when I was learning this. So manage. And here are the templates. So we want a computer template, and here we right click and duplicate. So, and it comes up with compatibility fine general. This is where you change the name of it. We'll call it X-Wing template. Okay, so that's going to be our template. And then if we look at the security, you should see domain computers there. We've got enrolled. I'm going to hit auto-enroll as well, because I'm going to try to set this up for auto-enrollment so I don't have to be on the client and then ask for the certificate. It should just get pushed out, which is much more scalable and allows me to be more lazy. Okay, so that's our computer. Also for user, so I'll highlight user there, and we will duplicate the template. Let's go here, and we will call this can be our pilot template for our users. Apply that. Now we need to be a bit canny with this one, because this is where we need to check that we've got the right permissions. So I believe Wedge is a domain admin. What I'm going to do is I will hit auto-enroll for our domain admins. I'll have to check that actually. Let's jump over users and computers. Red test, Wedge, properties, and Wedge is a member of domain users and X-Wing, but X-Wing has properties of member of domain admins. Okay, now another thing, kind of belt and braces, that I learned is to put in the email address. Wedge at redsquad.home. Okay, we'll apply that. So putting in the email address, because some of the user certificate templates, there was some warnings that I saw online about that hitting a problem if you didn't have the email set up for the user. Good. Okay, we'll close that down. Get rid of that. So we've got auto-enroll for domain admins. Good. Oh, what was the other thing? There is this subject name. So this is something to watch out for. You can turn this off. So with Wedge, I've given him an email address. The other thing, if you haven't set that up, one of the things that you may hit that will stop the certificate being issued is the email name. And I saw some warnings saying, so what you can do is either give them an email name or you can turn it off. I'm not using the certificate for email, so I'm just going to take that out there. This is probably hitting it with a hammer, but just for my lab to get those certs out there, this should do it. Okay, let's go for that. Now what we need to do is actually issue those templates. So if we certificate template to issue, what do we have? We have X-Wing. Let's issue that. And the other one is new certificate to issue was PPP pilot. There we are. Okay, so we've got two new, can I see that? Right, X-Wing and pilot at the top there. Fine. Now, what we also need to do is go over to the group policy. So that is over group policy management. There we are. Okay, and what I will do is I will create a new group policy. So create a GPO in this domain and link it here. Yes, good. What GPO should be, let's call it X-Wing certs. That will do. Okay, that. Make this a bit bigger. Don't show that message again. Okay. If we edit this, what we see, so I've created the GPO under my domain, which is the highest level in the domain to issue it, so that it will filter down to everything within the domain. So like I say, I'm hitting it with a big hammer. Here we are with our, these are the things we need to look for then. So we've got our computer configuration, and the one that we're looking for is the Windows setting. So expand that. So I've gone computer configuration, policies, Windows settings, and there we go, security settings. In security settings, you find your public key policies, and within that we have this, our auto-enrollment setting. So we open that up and enable that, and then we have this renew expired certificates, update pending, remove revoked, and update certificates that use certificate templates. So we enable and then we tick those two boxes. Okay, done. Now that was just for the computer, so we need to do the same thing for the users. Hang on. Windows security, public key policies, auto-enrollment, properties, enabled, tick the two boxes. Good stuff, excellent, thank you very much for coming. Close that down, and rather than just wait for it, we can open up PowerShell. We go GP update force to force that GPO out. Okay, now the next thing that I need to do then is to log into my client. What I will have this because what we need to be checked. Okay, computer policy update has completed successfully and user policy has updated successfully. So let's get rid of that. What we need to do is we need to check. So we will see if we have good certificates, they will be issued here. And if we have bad, the failed requests, they will be there. So issued and failed. So let's stick with issued, because hopefully that's where we're going to see the good stuff. And we will have the template is listed as well against this. So yeah, sorry, certificate template will be listed there. Fine. Let's log into my Windows client then. Okay, just using the local account. Here we are. Yeah, I've just pimped up the desktop a bit for this one. What I need to do then is create a new network. Okay. Network and sharing. Okay, so network and sharing. The Windows GUIs are all over the place because I was watching some stuff on YouTube where they're going through these changes. They've still got GUIs that are from like Windows XP, but then they've got these flashy new ones and it's not all tied together. There's so many different ways to get to the same place. Probably a good idea to learn PowerShell. Okay, set up a new connection or network. Manually connect to a wireless network. That's how we're going to do this. So it is swamp thing 1 and security type is enterprise. Yes. Start this connection automatically. Yes. Okay. Now we do have these options. Remember, for this one, it's just going to be PEAP because I'm going to log in. Then I'm going to, once I've logged into the SSID, then I'm going to try to join the domain using the user account, reboot onto that, should then join this SSID again and download the certificates, and then we can do the EAP-TLS. Okay, let's give that a go. So I'm not touched any of these. I know that that's insecure and would be able to create man in the middle, so you wouldn't do this on a production network, but just for that. It's the chicken and eggs situation with how do you trust this client on the network remotely through your wireless without using onboarding and things like that. Okay, is that down? Let's have a look at this. There it is, connect. Right, I've got to sign in. So now I need to sign in using a user that can actually join the network. Fingers crossed. Okay, looks good. And what that means then, there we are. So you can see it there that we've had success with PEAP MS Chapter 2 login. So we've got an accept there. Good. Okay, so we're back on via the wireless. So what I need to do, let's expand that, and I need to join the domain. Because now we're on the wireless, we've got connectivity directly to the domain controller. So we can go to system, where is it about? This is just a way that I know to get to it. System info, and we will see we're in the work group, so we need to change that. Okay, domain, and it is going to be redsquad.home. Okay, that. And we are going to use wedge again. Cool, welcome to redsquad.home domain, and we need to reboot. There we are, so we're logged in. As you can see, logged into Swamp Thing. After the reboot, it didn't automatically connect. I needed to log back in using the personal details from Wedge because we haven't set up EAP-TLS yet, so we're not using the certificates just yet. What we do then, right click, run. We want this MMC. Go yes for that. So we need to add these snap-ins, certificates, add that in, user account, we'll add in, and we want to add in the computer account. So we're trying to do that for both, so it's local, yes, okay that. So local computer, open that up. Actually, this is interesting, so if you go trusted root source for this, certificates, we should see the red squad. There it is. Okay, red squad CA, so that's our root. Okay, certificate path, so that's the CA, good. And this is us, TV65B, that's us, that's our certificate. Okay, so these are the trusted roots. So if we go personal and we go to certificates, we can see actually, so remember the computer template, which I called X-Wing. There we are, that's our certificate for server authentication that's been issued to this computer. We've also got over here, because we've got the computer ones and we've got the users, so if we go user personal, that hasn't been issued just yet. Let's see if we can auto-enroll that. So there is a way of doing this. All tasks, automatically enroll and retrieve certificates. There we go. So right click before you begin. Okay, fine, next. Hopefully it will show us the template. Pilot template, there we go. It's saying it's available, so let's try to enroll. Detail. Yeah, it's saying succeeded. Okay, so that's good. And now we've got our pilot template. Okay, so that wasn't great because it was manual intervention, but it did allow me to just grab it down for the user. Last time I tried this, when I was doing a prep run, after a while the CA did issue out the certificate. So I'm not sure. I was reading some instructions and it said that it can be with the group policy update, which is every 8 hours, I believe, and when a user logs in. But I found it wasn't just issuing it straight away. So there is this way to grab the certificate using, so it's certificates. If everything's set up okay for auto-enrollment, you can go auto-enroll there and retrieve your certificates to force its hand. So let's contrast that on the other side then. So we've got no failed certificate. This is the CA then, so where you can see the certificates, and we can see the issued certificate. And what you should see there we are in the middle. Let's change that, the order. Okay, so we have the X-Wing template is issued, and we have wedges has been issued there. So those are the certs that have been issued. Now let's go back to the device, and I want to change Can I change it here? So I'll forget that network. So I want to add in, we'll do it this way, because I think this way gives you more options. So it's Swamp Thing 1. Enterprise, start that, yes. Change the settings, okay, good. And this is going to be SmartCard, so EAP-TLS. And you can change the settings there. My trusted root is red squad. Don't prompt users to authorize new servers. No. Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, okay, that. So we're connected to Swamp Thing 1 again, and let's go and check the ClearPass. Right, so that's just now, we've got an accept there. We open that up. Okay, so accept, and it's EAP-TLS. Good. The computer is using the certificate to log in as I wanted. And what that means is that the final part, I can go across to services and change the authentication. I can actually take that out and I'm done. Okay, so that's it for this video series for now. Quick and dirty, as I said it was going to be. But if you think what I've done there, I've built up the Hyper-V server, then the domain controller and the CA and ClearPass, and I've integrated ClearPass into the domain, set up the device for my AP, set up my authentication server on ClearPass, then I have created the service on ClearPass, created the user on the AD, created the certificate templates, the new GPO for issuing that, all of these good things. Then I have joined my laptop to the instant SSID using PEAP, so that then the laptop has connectivity to the domain controller, so it can then join the domain using domain credentials, so using Wedge of Red Squad, reload the laptop, join the SSID again, so now we're on the domain. The auto-enrollment downloaded the computer certificate. Admittedly, the user certificate wasn't ready to go, but I used the auto-enrollment process for the MMC and the snap-in, which grabbed the certificate down for the user. Then I could change my SSID property. So actually, I just forgot the network, put it back in again. So Swamp Thing 1 SSID, I put it back in again so that it could just use the certificate for my login. Then when I check for my login status, it's EAP-TLS that's being used. So my certificates are being used. So that is job done. Please do like, comment, subscribe, all of those good things, and make sure you subscribe to the Airheads Broadcasting channel. But for this short playlist, I think that's it for now, unless I can think of something else to add in there. My name is Joe Neville. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.